Hello everybody! I'm glad to present my project Top 10 Favorite Films. But first of all, what favorite means? For me, it is something that appeals to my soul and leaves a deep and lasting impression. In other words, it's something incredibly striking. You can easily imagine how difficult it is to choose only 10 such films, and what's more, I like different genres, so it is even harder to rate them. Nevertheless, I tried to do that. So, let's start. Where Dreams May Come is an inspirational and extremely beautiful film starring Robin Williams, Annabella Sciorra, Cuba Gooding Jr. and Max von Sydow. This drama revolves around pure and true love, which is like a connection between two worlds, real life and the so-called afterlife. Although there are many other themes like problem of heaven and hell, we are always engaged in a struggle of main characters to find and save each other, even after their real life ends. But is it correct to say end? The author has another opinion, which is expressed in the slogan, "After life there is more, the end is just the beginning." And when you watch the film you are entirely agree with it. In a word, it is a film that pulls at the audience's heartstrings and offers a wealth of thought-provoking watching. By the way, the film won the Academy Award for Visual Effects in 1998.
They still exist.
What dreams may come.
Eurotrip. That's exactly what I love. A hilarious mixture of a road movie, romantic story and crazy comedy will make a day of everyone. The film tells us about a spontaneous trip to Europe of four friends who just graduated from school. The main character, Scott, who lives in Ohio, falls in love with his pen pal from Germany, whom at first mistakes for a guy. Thus he is eager to apologize her face to face. His friends are ready to help him, but for this they have to go through many funny and at times tricky situations. I don't want to tell you the whole plot, but don't hesitate to watch it. I'm sure you will be amused.
Scotty doesn't know that Fiona and me do it in my vein every Sunday. She tells him she's in church, but she doesn't go. Still she's on her knees, and Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know, so don't tell Scotty. Scotty doesn't know, Scotty doesn't know.
Reign Over Me is a spectacular and touching drama about losses and ability to overcome them. The film is about two old friends who fell out of touch and are reunited by chance, meeting on post-11th of September New York City. The main character, Alan, meets his former college roommate Charlie, who has lost his family during the terrorist attack. Alan tries to do his best to help his friend to cope with his depression. Speaking about the film, I can say that you will be astonished. The key actor here is a well-known comedian Adam Sandler, and what you see in the film is absolutely different from what you have seen before. I am convinced that his portrayal of the main character Charlie must be praised unreservedly. His performance is really convincing and appealing that won't leave you cold. It is a film beyond any limits and assessments, and as far as I know, it is the only drama with Adam Sandler, so there is no doubt it is worth watching.
Only love can make it rain. You're a good husband, Alan. You remind me of me. Only love can bring the rain.
A Clockwork Orange is a 1971 British science fiction crime film by Stanley Kubrick. It is an adaptation of Anthony Burgess' 1962 novella of the same name. It employs disturbing, violent images to comment on psychiatry, juvenile delinquency, youth gangs, and other social, political, and economic subjects in a dystopian future Britain. The story is delivered by the main character Alex, a charismatic, sociopathic delinquent whose interests include classical music, especially Beethoven, rape, and what is termed ultra-violence. He leads a small gang of punks whom he calls his drogues. The film chronicles the horrific crime spree of his gang, his capture, and attempted rehabilitation via controversial psychological conditioning called the Ludovico technique. I won't be myself if this film occurred omitted because I do like both utopias and dystopias, as it is always exciting to learn about our possible future, even the most unexpected future, I must admit. During the film you're likely to feel the whole range of emotions, and although it is a film not to everyone's taste, don't miss it. Sid and Nancy. If you love punk rock and interested in punk culture, it is to your liking. The magnificent atmosphere of this biopic transfers you in the England of 1970s, where a punk movement in its heyday. You follow main characters, famous punk rock idols, the Sex Pistols, from the beginning of their career until Sid Vicious' decision to set up on his own as a solo singer. Actually, the film revolves around the relationship between Sid Vicious and his girlfriend, Nancy Spungen. But at the same time it seems to me that the film was made to enable the audience to penetrate in that time and feel it. Big Fish. To tell the truth, I'm not a fan of Tim Burton. I can't deny his extraordinary talent, but his vision is different from mine. Nevertheless, there are some Burton's films which I love. One of them is Big Fish. I do like both comedies and dramas, and Big Fish is a real comedy drama with a starring cast. I must admit Tim Burton did his best to gather so many famous actors such as Ewan McGregor, Jessica Lange, Helena Bonham Carter, and Danny DeVito. This is a story of reconciliation between a dying father and his son, but actually it is eclipsed by a description of an incredible adventure of the main character, an adventure as big as life itself. The film is so impressive and kind that you will be pleased by it for sure. This is a film for everyone. Silent Hill is a 2006 horror film based on the plot of the video games of the same name. As far as the plot is concerned, the film follows Rose, who takes her adopted daughter Sharon to the town of Silent Hill, for which Sharon cries while sleepwalking. Arriving at Silent Hill, Rose is involved in a car accident and awakens to find Sharon missing. While searching for her daughter, she finds a local cult while uncovering Sharon's connection to the town's past. Frankly speaking, I'm not into horror films because I don't see any sense in scaring myself, but this very film left a deep and lasting impression on me. The point is that the film grabs your attention in the very beginning and it keeps you at the edge of your seat up to the end. And even the end makes you puzzled and baffled. The film is abetted by the golden cinematography and magnificent score by Akira Yamaoka. A Bird That Rocked is an inspirational and life-affirming film which will give you some energy and lodging to live your own life and do something really important, or at least just make you smile and enjoy great pieces of rock music. Actually, it is a story about an illegal British radio station which broadcasts rock music 24 hours. As I am a rock fan, I couldn't miss this film because it is a part of its history and has a real prototype. Through this film, we'll learn not only the history of rock music, but also have a look at the British history and its policy in 1960s. The film is abetted by the brilliant performances of the cast and outstanding soundtracks, of course, and you can't but enjoy a lot of touching moments in the film. By the end, you become a part of the crew and worry about them, and I believe it is a pleasure to be with such extraordinary people.
You're staying right here with us.
Daddy, everyone dies.
Welcome to the Dolphin Hotel, and you will be scared. I do love the psychological horror film based on the novel by Stephen King because it grabs your attention and keeps you in suspense till the end of the film. Many of my friends feel tingles down their spines when I just mention it. Probably it is an effect which horror master Stephen King has created all over the world by his acclaimed stories. The film tells us about an unprosperous skeptical writer Mike Enslin who, after the death of his daughter, writes book appraising supernatural events in which he has no belief. After his latest book, he receives an anonymous postcard depicting the Dolphin Hotel in New York City, bearing the message, "Don't enter 1408." Viewing this as a challenge, Mike forces the hotel to allow him to book a stay in this notorious room, all the guests of which died. And entering the room, the main character sets up a fatal chain reaction. To tell the truth, I'll probably do the same because of my skepticism concerning all the supernatural. For me, seeing is believing, and thanks to this film, I feel the atmosphere of such a mystic and mysterious place. The Crow is a 1994 American supernatural action film starring Brandon Lee in his final appearance. The film tells us the story of Eric Draven, a rock musician who is revived from the dead to avenge his murder and that of his fiancée. Frankly speaking, it was the only film I was glued to, and I was really overwhelmed by it. Breathtaking performance of Brandon Lee draws the viewer's attention completely. Unfortunately, he was accidentally killed during the filming, and The Crow appeared his last film. Unfinished scenes that were to feature Lee were completed by rewrites and digital special effects. The Crow was dedicated to Lee and his fiancée Eliza. Moreover, shots and music are excellent in the film and sustain its powerful plot, so I can say this is a cult film and the so-called must-see. Here I shall finish. I hope you had a nice time. Thank you for your attention.